Hi, I'm Susan Carley, and welcome to You're Not Alone, Surviving a Child's Disability. Most people seek activities to both expand their minds and exert their bodies for personal fulfillment. Although sometimes challenging, people with disabilities should also be able to explore these activities. So here to discuss recreation and the arts for the disabled are Mike Brunko, Vice President, Board of Directors, Special Teams for Exceptional People, and Heidi O'Mara, Executive Director, Special Needs Arts Programs, Inc. Welcome to the program.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Right. My first question is, what are the benefits for people with disabilities participating in recreation and arts programs?
Well, I think it gives them a community to participate with. I think it gives them a real feeling that they're contributing. I know in our area, the arts, it's really important for people to give back, and this is something, whether they're singing or they're creating a piece of artwork, they're really giving back to their community and contributing to the cultural richness of their community, and really being seen as someone with talents and accomplishments as opposed to just being seen as a disabled person.
Right.
So I think that's very important.
Mike?
Actually, I'd have to agree with Heidi. I think disabled people often sometimes, other people may not realize it, but I think disabled people sometimes feel a type of stigmatism where that they feel sort of isolated from their peers in society. So being able to engage in these things not only is good for the community on the outside, but it's good for them to become a part of that community as well.
Right. Now, how would you motivate a person with a disability to want to try an activity, especially if they're anxious or fearful of doing so?
It's kind of a case-by-case basis sort of thing. I've noticed with a lot of the athletes in our program, sometimes it's just a matter of reaching out and saying, hey, you come over here, let's go do this. And in other cases, we get the other athletes involved to try to encourage them to get involved and to engage in the sports. So it's kind of depends on the individual, but there's lots of different ways about it, and you know, fortunately, even the most shy and timid athletes in our program are able to eventually sort of break out of that shell and jump in with the rest of the kids.
Yeah, I would have to agree. I think that when you're a person with a disability, so much of the time you might be told sort of where to go and what to do, and we're going to work, we're going to this activity. And when they come to a program at Special Needs Arts Programs, they're really determining what they're doing. And initially, sometimes when an individual might come to an art class, they really might need hand-over-hand support.
Right.
They may not be used to making all of these decisions. And in a very short amount of time, you can see the artist really emerging, their ideas, their creativity put on paper, and they start developing their own aesthetic, their own preferences for different colors, whether they like nature or different things.
Now, do you think parents should have a big role in motivating their children with disabilities? Do you think that possibly a parent or a caregiver should come to these activities and be a part of it with them?
Well, we have, both situations. We have individuals where a parent might come, but we also find that the parent doesn't necessarily, after a few times, they don't need to stay because they're creating their own peer group. They have a sense of confidence, and it's sort of like being a parent of any child. You sort of have to take your child around, see what they're going to like, see what they're going to be interested in, and then sort of let them go off on their own.
I'd agree. At least in the beginning, it's excellent for the parents to get involved because it helps the child feel more comfortable. The parent is always sort of their comfort zone at home, so having that continue on with those extracurricular activities is just as important. And then as they start to sort of flourish on their own, you can kind of
back up,
shoo them out the nest a little bit and go back and just sit with the rest of the parents and enjoy and watch.
What recreational or arts activities are still not being covered with people who have disabilities? I mean, things that are unavailable still for them.
Well, I think that we really try to provide a unique set of opportunities to work with a lot of different mediums. We have an instructor, we have support individuals volunteers who come and help out. But as far as the art program, I don't really know if there's something that we would be hesitant to tackle. I don't. We do lots of different things. We do mosaics, we've done silhouettes, we've done watercolors, we've done a variety of different projects. And even with the singing has really evolved too, from sort of simple songs to now really, complicated songs and collaborating with other community groups to put on performances.
But do you know of any other, besides what you deal with, do you think there are other activities that they can't participate in, or is a hindrance in some manner that they can't participate?
Well, sometimes I think mobility sometimes can play an issue. Some people who they might not even be in a wheelchair, they might just have sort of limited mobility or be hesitant. So we try to make everything really accessible, to break down any sort of boundaries that may prevent them from participating. And certainly there are some individuals where it's best if a one-to-one comes with them. To sort of
so do you
with
have
them.
assistants do you both have assistants that can do a one-on-one if necessary?
We try to offer our athletes assistance whenever possible, but in most cases we rely on the families to help us out with the assistance. We have at least one, usually two coaches per program to kind of help the athletes in general, get them set up, run the event at that moment. And then if there's anybody that really needs more one-to-one help, we tend to look to the parents, not just for help on our end, but that's another involvement thing for the athletes as well, to be able to share that experience with their family, whether it's a parent, a caregiver, or a sibling.
Yeah, my daughter actually participates in softball, and she's great at it. She's autistic, and it's really great to watch them out there and participating. And there was even a person in a wheelchair that was almost quadriplegic, and they still were able to get him to hit a ball. And I was like, wow, that's the best.
Fantastic.
How does society accept people with disabilities in activities that once were impossible for them?
Well, I think, part of our mission is to really raise awareness of the abilities of special needs people and not just looking at them as a disabled person. And one of the reasons why we do so much community outreach, we do a lot of community concerts, we go out to different, whether it's retirement homes, assisted living, or collaborating with Lexington Symphony in an event. We do, and with our art exhibits, we've been in libraries and banks, different places. We're in a gallery right now in Watertown, and it really gives the public an opportunity to see the talents and accomplishments of people with special needs. And sometimes, people will write us comments at art exhibits or at our chorus concerts, and they're really blown away. They really didn't know that people with special needs could do so much, that they had such talent.
I agree.
And that they had such singing prowess, that they really, and special needs people, they want to contribute, they want to give back. And so that is part of our mission, to let the community know, to celebrate these individuals, because these individuals, they're part of our community, and just as the typical artists, they have talent too.
Right. And do you see the same?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's important to try to help to break down those barriers, and one of the ways we've tried to do that is to get the public involved. Over the winter, when we hold our basketball program, we reached out to the Lowell Firefighters Union to see if they could send a few of their firefighters out to play a game against our kids.
Oh, wow.
And I think they really, I know they really underestimated what the kids were going to be able to do.
Wow.
And they showed up, and our kids were running circles around them. And I think a part of that was because they didn't know what to expect. So they were going in with sort of this intrepid approach to playing these kids who they thought had special needs and wouldn't be able to really play a full-on game. And we surprised them quite a bit, and they before we knew it, they had about 4 or 5 more guys show up later into the game to try to relieve them because they were tired. They're plain and simple, they were tired.
That's fabulous.
Wow.
I know. I love to see stuff like that
So we
happen.
try to get to that extra community involvement to help open those doors and make people realize that, yeah, these kids might have special needs, but that doesn't mean they can't do the same things anybody else could do.
Right.
Now, what happens when a person with a disability has limited funds? Are these free activities, or how can they find funds, in other words, to participate?
Well, with our program, for example, we charge an annual fee to join, which is $75, and that offers our athletes a full year's worth of access to all the programs we provide.
Wow.
Which is a weekly bowling league, at least one sports activity every week, monthly dances, quarterly family days, all kinds of stuff.
Wow.
We hold an annual sports banquet for our athletes as well. Nice dinner, they get a trophy. It's a pretty good setup we put out there for them, and that's basically all that we ask of the athletes. We do all the other funding ourselves through fundraising to pay for all those other programs, because the $75 alone wouldn't cover that.
Wouldn't be able to pay for all that.
It
I
barely
think that's
covers the sports banquet that we put on for them,
Right.
just to have them go to that. So, but as far as the funding goes, a lot of our families are in the same boat. They have financial struggles,
Right.
whether it's a single mother or a family member that's on disability. So everybody kind of knows how to get help in some way, shape, or form. So we sort of help each other out with those problems.
I think that's great. I think that needs to happen as well. Heidi?
Yeah, we do. We charge a nominal fee to participate in our programs. Again, no, it doesn't come near the cost of even running the program, and forget about all the overhead that you have to keep an organization going.
Absolutely.
And so we really do a lot of robust fundraising, grant writing. We put on special events to really engage the public in our mission and let people know, it's important work what we're doing. And the people who have special needs who come to our programs, they have something to contribute. So we offset the cost to attend by doing all of the fundraising and the grant writing, and assisting our individuals when we can with scholarships.
That's great.
Yep.
Now, are there waiting lists for these programs, or can they come right into the program? How does that work?
We don't have a waiting list. We do have a general cap we try to stay within, just to make sure that we're able to meet the needs of all of our athletes without taxing all of our coaches and volunteers.
Right.
But we haven't really come to that point yet. We set that at, our goal is roughly around 100. Currently we're at about 70 to 75 members, so it's not really an issue for us.
Oh, good.
Yeah, we currently have openings in our chorus program. Our chorus programs run on Monday and Wednesday evenings. And we have openings in both. We try to cap it at 25 individuals per chorus. So we definitely have openings. Our special artists, our visual arts programs are pretty full. But we recently got a grant last year from the Community Endowment of Lexington, and that enabled us to actually double the amount of individuals we were able to serve at a whole new class and expand our programming calendar. So that was fabulous, and we're still able to maintain that. So we definitely have more people who want to participate, and so we are looking to grow our programs.
That's great.
Yeah.
Now, do either of you provide transportation, or is that definitely something the parent has to provide?
Yes, I mean, we have people really in 3 different situations. We have people either living with a family member or their parent, and in that case, usually the parent will drive them, or they might take the ride. We have a lot of individuals who come from group homes, and then the group home staff will drive them. Or we have individuals who are living independently. They live in their own apartment, and they coordinate with the ride, and the ride brings them.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, within our program, it's basically our athletes live at home with their parents, or they live in a group home facility. So one of the two will transport them.
Okay. Now, let's take a little break for a minute. And if you'd like to discuss your program, your program individually, that would be great. Who wants to start?
Defer to you.
Oh, okay.
Okay, Heidi.
Well, my organization is called Special Needs Arts Programs, and currently we have 2 different types of programs. We have chorus programs, and we have a visual arts program called Special Artists. Our chorus programs, it's sing-along singers and sing-along chorus, and we call it that because we really want the audience participating with us. We want them singing along right with us.
Oh, nice.
It's a really fun experience, and we really focus not so much on elevating their level of singing, but really bringing them together and really being able to express their feelings through music, and to work together to produce the songs and to be able to go on the stage and sing them. And our visual arts program, Special Artists, that is a program where they do all types of different art projects. And these are not sort of dot to dot or paint by number projects. These are some really complex projects that they're working on. And it really is a way for them to really communicate their ideas. You know, traditional communication can be so challenging for some people who have a special need. And I think music and art and the arts really gives them an opportunity to be able to express those feelings, those thoughts, those ideas. And it's really, it's really fascinating and very fulfilling to see it all come to fruition.
And I think that people with disabilities who are more involved probably would really appreciate a way to communicate by using arts or music. I think that's a great way, for them to express themselves.
Absolutely.
Mike?
Well, I am with Special Teams for Exceptional People. We are at our core an athletic program, but we also offer different social activities as well to help get our athletes an opportunity to explore other parts of those interactions you would experience in a sports program. We are a year-round program. Whether it's every week, we have a athletic program. Right now, we just started baseball. We just wrapped up karate and Zumba. That's one of the times when we do 2 in a week.
That's pretty good.
We do indoor activities, outdoor activities, and let's see, in a few months we'll be moving indoors to our flag football program.
Wow.
We do smaller team sports. We have volleyball, floor hockey as well. We do other things like kickball, and then we also have our weekly bowling league as well.
Now, all of these activities are like area oriented, like there's people from far away can't come, or is it definitely the area?
Well, we're based in Lexington. We run our programs out of the Lexington Community Center, which is a great partner. And we have individuals from really all the surrounding towns, eastern Middlesex County, but we have people coming from as far away as Roxbury to attend our programs.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, not at all. For the most part, our program is based out of the northern Merrimack Valley area, so most of our events are held either in Lowell or Tingsboro, but we have members that live in Dracut, Tewksbury, Billerica, and even southern New Hampshire.
Oh, really? Oh, wow. Well, I thank you, but I have one more question. What other activities would you recommend a person with a disability to participate in besides the ones that you've talked about? Can you think of anything that you think would be a good thing for people to participate in?
Well, I know something that's a great thing for people who have disabilities is just the dance and movement. There's so much more of this, whether it's yoga, but really using your body, really trying to, some of the things Mike's doing, really stay fit and healthy. I know that's an area that we'd like to explore, sort of the different artistic genres around dance, movement, those types of things.
Well, actually, learning about your program is very interesting. I think exploring more into the arts would be kind of nice, and even maybe taking that into a totally different direction, going on the educational side. Some of these kids obviously have some developmental disorders that may not always work well, but a lot of them can still do learn a new thing, whether it's a skill or a trade or anything, just something to help expand their horizons, to help them offer even more to the community.
Right. Well, I thank you very much for coming and sharing all the information that you shared.
Thank you
Thank
for
you for the
having
invite.
me.
You're welcome. People with disabilities should be encouraged to contemplate and investigate their leisure interests. Not only will it be an opportunity to socialize, but also give them a sense of belonging to the community. Thank you for watching. Join us again on You're Not Alone, Surviving Your Child's Disability.